What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Toke Moment, upgraded or the latest, however you want to put it. We've been having such a ball this season, and of course, my next guest is going to take it a little bit, take it a notch higher, if I can say that myself. Now, she is a trans woman living in Lagos. I watched a couple of her videos, and I thought I definitely have to speak to this person. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Fola Francis. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, nice to meet you. So I said to you when I walked into the office, I would literally have walked past you and I would have no idea that you are a trans woman. So before we even delve into this chat, I want to know what your pronouns are so I don't keep calling you something that you're not. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
pronounce her, she, her. That's fine.
Okay, she her. Okay, just so because I'm trying to also keep up to date with the lingo and to know exactly how to address you because I hear that is one of those things that you guys really take very personal.
Not you guys, please.
Okay,
But like
so
it's very important to like not misgender people. So always like
okay,
ask. So like you asking was very good. Thank you
okay,
for doing that. So
thank
like yeah.
you. All right, so how are you?
I'm very well,
How you
thank you.
feeling?
I'm very good, thank you.
All right, it's lovely to
Very
meet you.
excited to be here.
I
Also a
know.
big fan, so yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm also a fan of yours. As I said, I watched a couple of videos, and right off the just watching your video, I remember someone forwarding one to me. I didn't know till I sort of read the caption. I had no idea, and I was like, oh my God, this person is living and thriving in Lagos and sharing her journey, and I must commend you. That is very brave. Now I know
Thank
Lagos
you.
is quite a metropolitan city,
Mm-hmm.
and where I like to think exposed in Lagos, at least apart from the rest of Nigeria. I like to think that Lagos welcomes everybody, because we work in the creative industry where everyone exists in here. You have the gays, you have the lesbians, you have, the trans women and the men. Men can be trans as well, right? Women trying to be
You're
men.
the trans men and the
Okay,
trans
trans women,
women,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then I just
And
thought,
they are non-binaries, yeah.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's another topic completely different. So I mean, just even getting into this, I might ask some questions. Please don't think it might come across as ignorant, but I feel like this is such a teachable moment. And I hope that, you realize that you literally have a movement going on. Because I read the comments on your TikTok and I'm just like, wow. And there might be people out there who definitely feel differently, who might be struggling with their identity issues. And I hope that, you can be as open to also make them feel very welcomed. So I'm hoping that everybody watches this to take something away from it.
We'll see.
We'll see. I like that response. All right, so let's talk, girl. First, I love the jewelry. You have more jewelry than I have on. You came on my
Please.
show to kind of upstage me. What is? And here I was thinking, you know what? Let me just not. Let me just come and just because I had no idea what to expect knowing I was going to chat with you today. I have
Yeah.
to be honest. I left a
Hmm.
very blank canvas. Um,
Actually, same, to be fair.
really?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So this should be very interesting then.
it will be. I hope it is.
I mean, no, I just wanted to also know, like, at what point did you start to feel different, and how did you embrace this? I mean, how did you get so confident? Because you walking here and just seeing you strut your stuff down the hall, you're very confident. And we live in Nigeria. Let's not even lie. It takes a lot to be confident in this country, in these times we live in, economy, hardship, just self-esteem issues and whatnot. And to find someone who is out there living her glorious truth, not caring what anybody has to say. I want to know how you got this confident and when you started to feel different.
Well, it's been a long journey.
Okay.
I would say for as long as I can remember, I've just like felt like I was born in the wrong body. For I would say probably 4 years old. I just knew that okay, from that moment onward, I just knew I just felt like I was playing a role that I was supposed to play. Like oh, play the role of a boy, play the role. But like even from that age, I've always been treated differently.
Mm,
I've always felt differently because I was extremely feminine.
okay.
Oh, that was what people would call me then,
Mm.
you know. Um, so for me getting to this point where I can thank you for acknowledging and saying that oh I look this, I look that, even though that's not exactly what I'm trying to look. I've just got to a point where I don't care anymore. I just want to like live my life,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that's what
But
that's what I want to know. Like,
hmm
it takes a lot for you to get to the point where you're just like, I just want to live my life. I don't care.
yeah, yeah.
How did you
So
get there?
I would say over the years I have uncovered like layers of myself like every time. So it wasn't like maybe I just like made an instant decision, like, you know what, yes, I'm going to like embrace myself. No, I am still pretty young, but I'm 28 years old, going to be 29 soon. So
Really?
yeah, so it took me, I would say, about 27 years to even say it out loud that, oh, I identify as a woman. Because all my life, obviously, because of society, and my parents are like super religious, both pastors. Yeah, exactly. And growing up in Nigeria, having all these dynamics, and I have been, even though like I don't look like it anymore, I don't look like my problems, but I've faced some like crazy difficulties because I have always been visible, and like I've always like talked about my queerness and like my transness, which has
Mm.
like attracted me to like so many form of transphobia. Like I had to like move from my house, my apartment last year due to death threats.
You're lying.
I'm serious. It was if you follow me on my TikTok, I always share all my journey. I shared how I couldn't stay at my apartment for 7 months. After 7 months, I had to go there and pack all my stuff and get to a new place. And it was basically due to the fact that like some of my videos went viral and got posted on like blogs on Instagram, and basically started receiving death threats. It initially was through the DMs, comment section, and then I started receiving physical threats. So these are some of the consequences that comes with like being visible and being a trans and queer person in
Mm.
Nigeria. So
Mm.
I'll just say what basically made me embrace myself truly was, it was almost, I had only two options. It was either I kill myself or I just live freely and not care about whatever comes with that. But also like when I came into my transness, I made myself a promise that I was going to create the kind of representation I wish I'd seen as a child, because when growing up there was no representation. So I had a very difficult childhood. I always thought I was insane. I always thought they are always like preaching in churches and everything, saying that, oh, you're an abomination if you're different, you're this, you're that. And I'm very thankful now that I have my personal relationship with God, and I know better,
Mm.
and away from like
Mm.
the religious doctrines and stuff. So growing up in that kind of circumstance, or those kind of circumstances, never actually allowed me to figure out or even to be happy with who I am. So I feel like now I'm just overcompensating for all the times I lost, all the childhood memories, all my teenage years, because even university, I would not say I had any happy moment there, because
Mm.
there was still like constant reminder of like, you
Mm.
are not truly free. You can never be who you are. You are a freak. You are this, you are that. And I'm just so grateful that I've come to a point whereby I don't care. Whatever will happen, will happen. But one thing I can control is the choices I make for myself that doesn't harm any other person, and
Mm.
making sure that I live a life of kindness, and also creating representation. So like
Mm.
other queer Nigerians that have similar experiences as I do know that they are not alone.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, first I want to apologize. I mean, not like I have to, but I've always wondered and always felt some kind of compassion for people who have felt different,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes we just slide over things like that and just expect that because there's black and white, there are no areas of gray. And in growing older and becoming wiser, you realize that those areas of gray are actually wider than the black and the white. And sometimes because of our own safety of maybe religious practices, cultural beliefs, traditional values, we're made to think in only one way. And I know that those years of bullying, I'm sure you were bullied and called all sorts of names, must have hurt so much. And sometimes we don't even, it took me sitting down with a gay friend of mine one day to really realize how, you know being a straight person,
Mm-hmm.
we don't realize how difficult life is for people who were born just feeling differently. And there's absolutely nothing they can do about the fact that, they feel differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said that you felt like you were born in a different body, and I hear that all the time. But what were some of the things that made you feel that way? Is it that you just always liked, dresses or shoes, or what were the things that made you feel like, what, I just
Yeah.
don't think that
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So it's not even about that. It was more of like psychologically, like I just felt
okay.
like on the inside, I've never been the kind of person that, okay, I overly care about like, oh, my appearance or anything. Like I have an amazing relationship with clothing. I don't think I don't believe that clothing as a particular article of clothing is supposed to be meant for male or female or anything.
Mm.
Like whatever you want to wear, like feel comfortable in whatever you want to feel comfortable. So that has never been the case. Although I cannot take away from the fact that clothing plays a huge role in affirming people,
Yeah.
for whatever gender or whatever gender identity they identify as. But I'm just speaking in my own experience. So in my own personal experience, it was not even a thing of like, oh, I want to wear this. Obviously, like there were things I would try on my mom's shoe or like do whatever, but it was not even about that. It was about the fact that I don't feel like I'm this person people identify me as. I don't feel like I'm this gender person and these people identify me as. And I struggle with that all my years, and it's went on, and it was. Imagine having this struggle, and I had so many other struggles as a child, but then having this inner struggle again that I couldn't discuss with anyone at all, because like, what do you want to have the conversation with? Like, no one. So it was just a whole lot, and
Yeah.
there are so many other Nigerians that face that. Imagine like facing difficulties, having difficulties in school as a child, you know, parents maybe, I'm just speaking generally,
Yeah, of course. Feel
parents
free.
being abusive, you being bullied in school, and also like having this inner like battle within yourself about like basically your existential crisis, like just like basically like questioning who you are as a person and
I mean,
everything.
I don't
So
mean it's culture. I think at that point, even as a child, I don't even know if you know it's called identity crisis.
exactly, I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea what was happening. So like for years, at some point, that's why I said I keep uncovering layers of myself. At
Okay.
some point, I was like, maybe I'm a gay person, you know.
Okay.
Then that was like probably like my university days, but like I actually didn't even explore that part of me as well, because at the same time, like there's that fear of like, so
Rejection.
like almost like it's almost like internalized queer phobia.
What does that mean? I mean, I might never really
Okay,
understand it
okay,
because
okay.
I'm
It's
not
like
queer,
okay,
but
queer phobia, basically just like eating queer people, right?
also you used to actually hate.
Not like it's like eating myself, basically self
Oh.
hates. Like, why am I different? Like, why do I feel the way I feel? But like not being able to like get the answers I need from anyone, not even online or not even anywhere at all. So fighting that battle within myself and telling myself I don't think I am a gay person, or at the time I don't think I am a gay man. Then at some point I started like exploring myself, started expressing myself more through fashion. I started working in fashion, so I would express myself more through fashion, and people would say, "Oh my God, you don't have an eccentric style," da 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 da, and like that was like affirming for a while, but then
But were you
it
still
was not.
identifying as a man then, or were you identifying as a woman?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes, but it still rubbed me off the wrong way.
Right.
But it's like, how do I even start having the conversations, you know? And then at some point, I started identifying as a non-binary person.
Okay.
So, but non-binary people are basically people that don't identify as male or female. So, and which so basically, it's like I strongly believe in the fact that gender is not binary, which means that we don't have two genders. Genders as like it's a spectrum. So at that point, I told myself, you know what? I don't think I identify as male or female. Then after I started telling people I identify as non-binary and as a non-binary person, I still wasn't like very okay with myself. Then I did an internet like I interrogated myself, because I constantly do these things, because like I'm in therapy, I'm always in therapy. So I asked myself that, okay, be honest with yourself. Like, who do you think you are? Who are you? And then I realized that I was telling people I was non-binary because that might be easier to digest. It might be easier to say I was a gay person. It would be easier to say I'm a non-binary person than saying, oh, I'm a trans woman. Then people are like, oh, you're doing so much. Because I anticipated I would get that.
Yeah.
And I got a shit ton of that. Like, oh, you're doing too much. Can you not just settle for just being this? Can you not just like settle for just being that? Must you be different? Are you doing it for attention? And like, I would not say like trans people as they've gotten like, we've gotten like so many bad
Representation.
representation in the media and everywhere else. So it's like, will I be put in the same box? What do I have to do that will be different? So it was at that moment when I told myself, okay, I would come out and like I'll just like accept myself fully for who I am, but also try to create a positive representation for other trans people to like say, okay, I think this is how I feel. Who this person represents is who I feel on the inside. So basically, so that's like the summary of my journey. Yeah.
And you know what helped me
Yeah.
was literally just saying, I'm going to first say to you that I might ask you some things that might come across as ignorant.
Yeah.
But I have to own my own truth and to
Yeah.
say that
No,
it is
I've been comfortable so far,
it's
like
still a
with
walk in the
100%.
journey.
Mm.
I'm
I
fascinated.
agree. I am still even like also like just still learning so many things about myself, about the world, about the like multiple
Mm,
spectrums in between. So we're on a constant learning journey,
mm.
and no one is the epitome of knowledge. So yeah, that's
And
it.
thank you for being so gracious to say that. I mean, I hope you're not
Thank
just
you.
saying that because it's me, but thank for.
No, I will say that to anyone. I will
Okay,
say that to
and
anyone
I'm
for
grateful.
sure.
Have you ever considered maybe moving out of Nigeria? Do you think that you might? Because you see, I hear you, and meeting you for the first time and just knowing how you're such a bundle of light and personality. I hate the fact that you literally have to look for only queer friendly places to go to. I hate the fact that, you have to literally have to invite people because you want to be comfortable, and we live in a crazy world where no matter how we start to talk from here to tomorrow, there will still be people that will be like, really,
Definitely, definitely.
so have you ever considered maybe leaving Nigeria? Because I feel like the quality of life might be much, much better.
I get that a lot. I don't want to leave Nigeria like permanently. I don't want to. I
Okay.
believe I'm here for a purpose. My
Mm,
family doesn't stay in Nigeria. My entire family doesn't stay in Nigeria. They've never stayed in Nigeria. So I believe I'm here for a purpose. Obviously, like I hope like I get to a point where I travel however I want to, whenever I want to.
mm.
But as far as like completely like relocating from Nigeria, I hope I don't
No, I
have
don't.
to
I
do
don't
that.
think you. I don't think I'm going to literally not say. I hope you don't. I'm going to pray
I hope
that
I don't have to like
how you feel.
move.
Maybe if you get some fancy ass opportunity in a world where we haven't seen the world completely.
Okay,
I
maybe
know
that.
I
Maybe
can be
that.
like I can say that too. That Nigeria will always
Maybe
be home for
that.
me
But
too.
like
But
I would say like moving because of like my transness. Like
yeah,
okay, that would be
yeah.
like oh maybe my life was
Because
in
I
danger.
definitely want you to see the world. I want you
Yeah,
to have different experiences. I want you to
I
also get to
agree.
a place where, you can be like, that beacon of light for
Hmm.
people who might feel different. Because it takes a lot for you to even begin to embrace the fact that, because you talked about a couple of times you wanted to end it all. And I know that is a real struggle. I can
Yeah.
just imagine the voices in your head when you try to quiet them to say, maybe I'll try to be like these people to see if I'll find happiness, and
Hmm.
that didn't work. So
Hmm.
it's definitely been a tough journey, and not recognizing that would be disrespectful to you, because a lot of
Yeah.
us have just coasted through life thinking I'm depressed because that boy doesn't like me, or I'm sad because you know what I mean. But then this is
Yeah.
someone who had to deal with feeling different,
Yeah.
and then embracing that, and
Yeah.
then working towards being the person that she believes that she was called to be.
Hmm.
And I know that that obviously had to do with you also taking some sort of drugs to also help you, you know, settle into, being who you were called out to be.
Hmm.
How has that journey been? Because I hear it's tough.
Oh, it's very tough. It's very tough, extremely tough. But um, so I'll actually say something that I've actually not. I don't really share with people.
Okay. Well, thank you for
So
sharing that here.
just because the reason why I don't share this with people because I don't want to be treated differently from my other trans people. So I found out while I was doing tests that I am intersex. So basically, I have the XX chromosome and XY chromosome.
I don't know.
So,
Okay. Okay. When you say I get that the chromosome, so the XY,
so,
yeah, I get that.
so it kind of like played the huge role, and kind of like it made so much sense, especially like some of my experiences as a teenager. Because at
Mm.
some point, like when I hit puberty, like I started like growing, like my chest started like
Started having
I
breasts.
started having breast, and
Mm-hmm.
like my grandma has to like bind my breast and like start like doing like doing fire on my every morning, like on my chest every morning
Mm.
till like yeah, that was gone. So
That must have been so
that
painful
was
for
very
you.
painful and like honestly like traumatizing. I don't know why I just said that casually, but
I feel like, can I
yeah.
say something? I feel like it's also a coping mechanism. Do you
Yes,
understand? Like, and
yes.
then, I know that you're very, just from sitting here, I can see you're very guarded. And that took a lot for you to share. And it's
Hmm.
okay to be. And I just want you to know that, I know that you look for safe spaces. I hope that you feel safe as you're sitting
Oh,
here,
I
because
feel safe.
do you know what
Thank
I
you. I
mean?
feel
It
safe.
is, that must have been hard, because when you even speak to people who have been circumcised, for instance,
Yeah.
there's a lot that comes with airing the fact that your grandma
Hmm.
will have to bind, and
Yeah.
put fire on you. And how old were you when this happened?
I think I was about 11 or 12.
What
Yes.
did you think was happening?
I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea what was happening, but just like
Do you think that she kind of suspected or felt that you were different and was
oh
trying
yeah,
in her
there were so
own
many
way?
conversations like like this has never been seen before, things like that. There were so many conversations around it, even like because I was at the time I was staying with my mom's sister, and so there were so many conversations around it. So it was I
Did
would
they
not like to
ever
talk
have?
about it. Please,
No,
let's
but
move on.
I know, I know. But did you ever have one of those deliverance sessions for you where they
Oh,
bring?
every morning.
Wow, I'm so sorry you had to
Yeah,
go through
so
that.
yeah, that's fine.
You
So
don't
I
have
would
to
say,
brush it past and say, yeah, that's fine, girl. It's okay. You can have a moment. Trust me.
I
Because I feel
know.
like life is hard as it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes, in order to genuinely and
Mm-hmm.
truly heal,
Yeah.
sometimes we have to take a walk through the things that we've been through.
Yeah.
I know that you might just be meeting me for the first time, but I don't know if you know that I lost both my parents when I was 8.
I know.
And,
I know.
I say to people, I still remember the smell of skin burning. I do.
I'm so
You
sorry.
know what I mean? It just would never leave me alone. And it took a lot to sit in therapy, just like you, to unpack that entire episode. I don't think I've even discussed this with my siblings if they have the same. You know what I mean? I don't think I've asked them because we just try to just pull ourselves through and just get past the
Yeah.
bad stuff. We never want
Yeah.
to visit it or
Yeah.
unpack it. But
Yeah.
I do want you to feel that it's okay to take that walk at any time you're ready. I know you're in therapy because those are things that you need to literally heal from and accept that, not making excuses for them. This
Yeah.
this happened to you, but look at you today. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you.
It happened to you, but you're here and you can talk about it.
Thank
And thank
you.
you for sharing what you've never shared with anyone before.
Thank you for
I
having
know
me
it
to your
seems like I'm
point.
getting
Thank you.
very emotional.
I am trying not to get
I
emotional as
know it's
well.
okay. Like we can hold hands. It's fine. That's exactly. I am super duper grateful that you
Yeah.
came on.
Thank you. And also, like I wanted to say something about the gender affirming care.
Yeah.
I have, I had to like post it for a while because it was just a lot. It's so emotionally like and physically like tasking. But like I also want to like just say this is if they're like trans people like watching, if you don't have access to gender affirming care, which is like hormone
Hormones.
therapy,
Yeah.
it doesn't take away from the fact that you are valid as a trans person. Okay, like because like it's not everyone is privileged to have access to them, especially here in Nigeria. There are no gender affirming cares here in Nigeria, and like even for me to even lay my hands on them, I had to like ship them into the country, and they're not cheap. So and
But do you worry that since you've stopped taking it, that the
oh, that's
reverse
the
might
thing. Like
happen?
I only took it just so I could experience the. It's more of like psychological than it is physical. So I kind of like took it just to like experience that and just like get that affirmation, just get that affirming um hormonal therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about passing. I'm not worried about not passing. I'm not worried about whatever. To be fair, I am privileged to pass, and I recognize that privilege. But at the same time, it's not like I won't go out on my way to say, oh, I have to look like a cis woman. Like I have to. No, I'm not doing that. That's the reason why like I try as much as possible to also tell like other trans people that you don't owe anyone masculinity or femininity, because there are so many cases whereby trans people will tell me, oh, people are acting differently to them because they think that, oh, they look masculine.
Mm.
Like that is just a bad thing to tell anyone, because at the end of the day, there are cis women that have more testosterone in their body. There are cis
I mean,
women
you even found out that
we
you had more.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There are cis women with PCOS. Like there's so many. That's why there's so many in between. Like it's not black and white.
Mm.
There's so many colors in between. So there are women that have never menstruated a day in their life. Does that mean they were biologically
Mm.
born a toad or what?
Mm.
There are so many things, and I just wish everyone would just like respect everyone's differences and just like as long as they're a kind person, except they're a shitty person like Caitlyn
Mm.
Jenner, then come for Caitlyn Jenner.
Girl, how you gonna do that on my chair? How you gonna want people to accept you one way and then throw another
No, no,
person
no, no,
who's
no.
also
Caitlyn Jenner is
what
not a
what
good
has she what has
representation.
why do you think
Caitlyn Jenner
so?
is not a good representation for trans people because she bashes trans people on
Oh, she
social media.
does?
She
I've
does,
never
and
really
even
seen it.
misgenders them on social media so she can like appeal to cis like straight white men. So and it's really terrible and it's just a very bad thing. So I would say, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner is a terrible person, but I will not say because of she's a terrible person, misgender her. So that's my
Mm.
point I'm trying to pass across. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, this has been such an insightful conversation. I've definitely learned a lot. And I'm happy that I came, with an open blanket, and I definitely did not want to have any preconceived notion or and this is, and I hope that it's done a lot of good out there. One more thing that I would ask you also to, I know that your experience wasn't as great, but I know a lot of people would watch this who might also have children that are struggling with their identity issues. Like, what are you going to say to a parent who's watching it, even if you hope that one day your parents come around and you guys are in a better place? But what are you going to say to someone who knows or is dealing with the sad truth that the child they gave birth to is different, even before the realization of that
Yeah.
child? What would you
Yeah.
say to them?
I would say, remember you love your kid. That's the first thing. Remember your kid is also a human being that would become their own person. There is already their own person, and the fact that they feel however they feel is a testament to the fact that they're a person. So many of us are we're carrying trauma on our backs. So many of us have so much anger towards our parents. We don't even understand the anger. So if your child ever comes to you that they are different, hear them out. Do not dismiss them. I know that I'm not going to act as if, oh, it's just like it's a casual conversation. No, it's not. But one thing, do not dismiss your child because they might resent you for it. So many of we are so different. So many of us don't have the same capacity or the same emotional capacity. There are so many people that just because they came out to their parent rejected them or told them something, they killed themselves. We've had so many cases. The death rate, the suicide rate of trans people generally in the world is insanely high, and trans people are basically a minority group living within the LGBTQIA
I
plus
was gonna
minority.
ask you about
So
that
our
actually.
percentage is very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
If the trans people don't die by suicide, they die basically by maybe like mostly by cis het men that probably hate themselves and hate trans people because they're attracted to trans people. So when your child comes out to you and tells you this is how they feel on the inside, just be patient, affirm them. If you don't fully understand, do research. There are so many representations right now for trans people online and on social media everywhere. Like, just watch video, reach out to anyone. Reach
Do you
out
think going
to,
to therapy with the child might help as well?
not in Nigeria. Don't go to therapy in Nigeria. That's what I'm
But
going to
you are
say.
in therapy in
Not in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I assumed
So
that it was in Nigeria because you said you're living here. That's why.
no online therapy. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. How
Um
often do you do it?
Um, I I stopped now for it's been a month now since I've not gone to therapy,
Mm.
and because I feel like I've been so busy
It's
with
okay to take a
stuff.
break as well.
Exactly. So I think I'll resume next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as
Because
long as you're doing okay and you're
yes,
fine
yes.
and you all constantly look in the mirror and think you're a bad bitch.
Period.
Period. Cool. And the last thing I also was curious about, because I've, in the course of my research, I found out that even in the LGBTQ, is that all? LGBTQ community, there's a little bit of strife with the trans community and the lesbian, the gay. You see that gay people, I might be wrong, correct me, but I've researched and learned that it's not like the gay people are also fully accepting of the trans man or the trans one, and I don't know why.
You're right.
Like why? When I was reading an
So I
article
would
last
not
night,
say
I was like,
it's not like the general like, oh,
yeah,
I would say
some,
everyone.
yeah.
It's like I said earlier when we were talking, I said some people one of the reasons why I did not assume into my gender identity earlier was because like some people would see me as doing too much or too much. So I would say there are so many queer people or gay people or lesbian or whatever that sees trans people as doing too much, over the top, which is insane because at the forefront of every movement, every notable movement in the world, trans non-binary people have always been at the forefront. We are always the one that fights the battles because we are more visible. Um, most gay people or most lesbian people, whatever, they are easier to pass as cis people and or as straight people because I mean it's only when they talk about it or maybe when they kiss in public or do you understand?
That
But
people
like
get to know.
exactly. So it is just more of like a them situation. It's more of like a self-hate. It is
Yeah.
not it is not on trans people, it's not queer people. It's like it's not on trans people or trans or non-binary people. It's more of their own issue. So you just need to like check why they are pissed on the
I've also
inside.
found a lot of people who identify as gay men at some point, or gay or lesbian women at some point also become non-binary. I've had like 3
So
cases
the
of
thing is,
people who
yeah.
were gay for so long, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, just refer
Yeah,
to me as they."
that's the thing about gender identity and like this generation of like where there's like so many informations now, and like we are more educative now, and we're educating ourselves, and we are open to uncovering layers of ourselves. We don't figure things out at once. Like I told you, like it took me like years of just like uncovering myself and uncovering myself. It's a constant journey.
Mm,
So that's the reason why like if someone like um Caitlyn Jenner, like you said, would get to that old age before she assumed to identity. That's for someone like me, 27 years. That's why there are children that are like Gen Zs that are already on hormonal therapy at the age of 16, and I'm like very happy for them because like that way like it works faster because of that they've not hit puberty yet, or they can
mm,
get puberty blockers or things like that. So that way like they are not experiencing that much struggle. So there's more access to information right now. So people now are now saying that, oh, actually, gender is not binary. There are so many genders, and I don't have to actually identify as male or identify as female. I can just like be whatever I am, and I feel on the inside. And whatever I am is non-binary,
mm,
non-binary, not in the binary of male, female, because non-binary means two,
mm-hmm,
male, female,
mm,
non-binary, not in both. So that's why people just prefer to just stay in that middle
yeah.
area because they do not identify as those genders.
Mm. But
Yeah.
it's safe for them to eventually wake up one day and also feel like they want to be female or male again, right?
Whatever makes them feel
Okay,
good.
just wanted to check.
Exactly. That's what it just comes about. Like it just be respectful to everyone, whatever choices they want to do. If
Mm,
tomorrow someone tells you that this is not who they are anymore, this is who they are. Okay. Are you still a good person?
mm.
That's all that
I mean, as
matters.
long as you're not a like you're
Yeah,
not a
exactly,
pedophile or
exactly.
whatever.
As long as you're not like a weird person that do
Mm,
weird shit like or harm anybody,
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This has definitely been an eye opener. I hope that everyone at home has also watched with an open mind and an open heart to be able to show kindness to everyone around you, regardless of understanding or not understanding what they represent. We're all in this earth. Just trying to find our way, really. Nobody has it all figured out. Thank you guys for watching. I really, really am super proud of you.
Thank you
And I
for
hope I
having
run into
me.
you again soon and we can
Yeah,
chit chats
same.
about new things you've discovered and learnt about yourself. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch the next episode of Toke Moments. It would be definitely even more fabulous. All right.